Hello! Today I'm going to be talking about financial independence and what my FIRE number is. My name is Trey. I make videos based off of personal finance, financial independence, budgeting, wealth, debt, really anything that relates to finance. I recently just paid off $43,000 of debt. If you're interested in that, the link is in the description. You can watch me actually paying off my debt in real time. It was very exciting call. Just a short background, financial independence, or the FIRE movement, Financial Independence Retire Early movement, is for people to escape the rat race of capitalism. So essentially, it's kind of combating this consumerist culture and the constant need for growth by actually playing that game for yourself, winning at it, so that you never have to think about money again. That boils down to becoming wealthy, right? But there's something called a FIRE number, Financial Independence Retire Early number. Essentially, the number is different for everyone because, again, personal finance is personal. But once you reach said number, at least for 30 years, you will never run out of money if you never make a dime more. If you never make an active income again, it won't matter because you put so much in your investments that, hoping the economy doesn't fucking tank or whatever, you will never have to earn an active income again. In my last video, I actually talked about FIRE. Since I'm now out of debt, what is the next logical step for me? And that is actually FIRE. I have worked my butt off the past 2.5 years to be debt-free, and that is such a good feeling. There's so much freedom in that and agency in that I want to take that to the next level. And that starts with building an emergency fund. That's my first goal. And then actually a house hacking fund. But eventually all of these little goals, investing, real estate investing, all of that leads to financial independence. I want to passively make enough money so that I never have to worry about trading my time and my work for money again. I thought in my last video, if I'm going to work this hard, I would want to make sure that I have enough in investments so that I can live a lavish life. And what I am realizing is that that is actually not the case. I said that I would need $2.75 million, $100,000, I think, if I wanted to pull that out every single year. That calculated to a little over 2.5 million. So it's actually 2.5 million exactly. That is kind of dumb, I'm realizing, because I calculated my expenses for retirement and it's not nearly $100,000. I can live on a lot less than $100,000 a year. I've never made $100,000 a year. My income is about $70,000, which is really good for the US, but for my area is pretty damn average. When you consider a quarter of that going to taxes and another quarter of that going to living expenses, I'm left with about half of that income that I can spend in liquid every single year. And obviously, if you're doing the math, that is $35,000 a year that I've been able to live off of to pay my rent, my groceries, and have fun throughout the year. So I definitely do not need $100,000 liquid. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to show you how I got to my new FIRE number and talk to you about kind of the plan for getting there. I'm going to show you my expenses, my projected expenses into my retirement. And then I'm also going to show you this investment calculator from smartasset.com that shows you how much money I will need to put away each year to reach FI within 15 years. So here I have the Vanguard retirement expense worksheet pulled up. URL's right here if you need it. I can also include it below. So for mortgage, I'm choosing around $1,500 a month. I looked this up earlier, but if we look up like average mortgage rate in the United States, $1,487 is the average payment. And so I'm just rounding up to $1,500. The reason I didn't look up for my area is that I don't know where I'm gonna be living, guys. Like the fact that work from home is a permanent thing for me now, which is awesome. I can live wherever I want. So I'm just gonna take the average. I'm gonna do the same thing for all of this, like average property taxes. Actually, this site, thebalance.com, I think does a lot of this for you. Property taxes would be on average $360. So we're just gonna input that. Insurance, I think on average is like $100. Yeah, $110. You know what? Let's just be crazy and say $150 because I think I'll also be paying PMI, which actually I guess would be probably like $210 then. Let's just say $210. Average utility price. Okay, $2,060 per average for home utility bills. Let's do 2060 divided by 12. 171. So let's put 170 for utilities as well. Maintenance. I'm not gonna put in anything for maintenance because I literally have no idea. I'm just going to input $150 a month. All inclusive, this would be $2,390 just for living. And keep in mind that I do plan on house hacking so that I'm able to get rid of my mortgage a lot faster than normal. So I think that this expense would honestly be dramatically altered if I'm still house hacking or have rental properties at this time. I'm gonna do this off my current budget because I'm a single person living alone, and for right now, I don't see that changing. But we're gonna put $250 because that's pretty much what I need in this area to live. That's just what it always averages out to. Dining out. If y'all have been following my budget videos, you know that dining out for me is my biggest expense. And it honestly almost always averages what my groceries are, if not more. We're just gonna equate this, say $250. Transportation. Again, I have paid off my car, so no monthly expense really for my car, besides we'll say maintenance will be like an oil change. I get an oil change roughly once every 3 to 4 months. So let's just say, worst case, 4 times a year for oil changes. The going rate for that, I feel like, is like 50-ish bucks. So if we do that, that would be $200 a year on vehicle maintenance. Whatever 200 divided by 12 is, would be monthly. 16. And you know what? Let's just round up to 20 because it's always better to overestimate than underestimate. Fuel. This is gonna be a hefty one. If I'm driving a lot, I can probably fill up like 3 times a month. So let's just be, again, let's overestimate. 30 times 3 is 90. Auto insurance, I almost always pay $75 a month. It usually goes down as you get older unless you're in a bunch of accidents. So we're gonna go with my going rate right now, which is $75. Public transportation, you know, I don't use much. I really don't use it much at all. But just in case I use it occasionally, like I go on the metro or something, let's just put $10 a month. Healthcare. This is where it's gonna get interesting. So in retirement, I don't plan to have a W-2 job. I have never really wanted one, and it's what I've done because that's our cultural narrative, especially with like college educated people, I feel. So we're gonna stick with not having healthcare supported by my job. And I have Googled, we'll just do it again, average healthcare cost for self-employed person. So average monthly premiums for individual coverage, $484. And again, I've looked this up previously. It's not just this source. I think a few sources down here, like Value Penguin, healthcare.gov, a couple of them say on average it's around $500 a month if you're self-employed. Like this one says $388, so I think $500 is more of an overestimate, and again, that's what we want here. So we're gonna say $500. Medications. I get allergies, you know, if you go to the doctor and need medicine, blah, blah, blah. I would say that this probably averages out to like $100 like a year because I'm pretty healthy right now. I expect that to go up as I age because obviously the body only breaks down as you get older, baby. So that's super fun. I might develop a condition, but until then, I don't think I'll really need that much. So we're just gonna say like 50 bucks a month. And I think that's an overestimate. All right, personal insurance. Here's the thing. I will probably have life insurance as I'm older. I don't know what it is though. Let's Google average life insurance cost for self-employed person. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's another $500 a month. That's crazy, y'all. Here's the thing though. Life insurance I've always heard is a scam. unless you're literally like super old and about to die. And since I want to do FI early, I don't think I'm really going to be paying this monthly as soon as I'm in FI, because luckily I won't be like 60 by the time I reach FI. Hopefully I'll be around 40. Hit me up in the comments what you think an accurate number for this would be. I'm just going to put 100. In terms of personal care, I don't buy many clothes now, and fashion has never really been a huge priority for me, which is controversial for a femme gay my age, but it's just the way it is. I've always been kind of frugal. I've never really cared about fashion, never really cared about material goods that much. So for clothing per month, I feel like I literally buy like one thing a month, maybe. Let's say I get something more fancy and I spend a little more, we'll say $25 a month. Products and services, we're also going to say $25 a month, because the only thing that I pay for right now is Spotify, which is $10, but I suspect that I'll maybe sign up for something else. I don't know. Again, overestimating, always better. Family care, we're going to leave this blank. I do have a feeling that I might be taking care of my mom a little bit as she gets older. You know, I'm not exactly sure what taking care of my parents is really going to look like. I can't even begin to estimate how much those medical costs are going to be, or if I'll ever even really be financially responsible for them. That's all up in the air, and I haven't discussed that with my family because still pretty young. My parents are still pretty young. We're not anticipating anything happening, you know, fucking knock on fucking wood. In terms of miscellaneous, loan, credit cards, zero, baby. I'm fucking debt free. Entertainment, we're gonna be realistic and say $200 a month. Travel, vacation, I would also love to pay $200 a month, so that I have $2,000 a year that I get to travel with and just have fun with. Hobbies, I kind of group this with entertainment, so we're gonna keep it pretty low and say $50 a month. Gifts, we're also gonna say $50 a month. Actually, let's make it 75 to account for Christmas and birthdays. Education, zero. Charity, honestly zero right now. I hope that increases as I get older. Wedding, you know, this is actually a thing I'm gonna have to be worrying about soon, because I'm getting to that age where people are getting married, and it's like, two of my best friends just got engaged, and I'm like, damn, it's crazy. But we're not gonna budget for weddings right now. We're not gonna do it. This is everything that's accounted for here. We are going to calculate my spend. So you can see that I have a projected monthly expense of $4,300, which means that annually I will spend $51,600 in liquid on average. And again, this is overestimating my budget. So you can see just how far off I was with wanting to do Fat Fire at $100,000 a month, or $100,000 a year. Literally, when I'm over budgeting, this would be half of Fat Fire, or my original estimated amount. And again, housing is going to be my biggest expense, and if I am house hacking, this will probably be slashed in half. I literally think that worst case, I will be spending $51,600 a year in financial independence. If we want to take this and account for the 4% rule, what we do is we multiply this by 4. And you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I am actually going to round this up to $60,000 to account for inflation and just the random shit that comes up. Let's say crazy shit happens. I have to take care of both my parents. All my other siblings die. That's really morbid. 60,000 times 25. There we have it. My fire number is $1,500,000, 1.5 mil. So what does that mean? It means that in order to feel financially secure and never have to work a day in my life again for money, I have to have $1.5 million as my balance in all of my investment accounts combined. That seems like a lofty goal, but honestly, it's so much better than the 2.75 million that I had originally estimated before actually doing any of this math. So it actually feels a lot more attainable. So for this next part of the video, we're going to see how much time I can actually save and get to financial independence, to get to $1,500,000 through the powers of investing. This investment calculator is on Smart Asset. It breaks it down into a couple different categories, but essentially you have to enter how much money you start out with. I actually have $10,000 saved in an investment account from my 401ks the past couple years. We are going to say that the market returns around 7% annually, which is just true. It's the average. If you're mostly invested in stocks, it's what the stock market typically returns every year on average. And we're going to say 15 years to grow because I want to reach 5 by the time I am 40 and I'm 25. And we're going to say that I can put away $29,400 a year. If I didn't make any more income than I did today, in 15 years, I would be halfway, just a little over halfway towards my goal. What this means is that I have an income problem. And I don't mean that like I'm not getting compensated well enough for my job. I mean that in context of this goal to reach financial independence in a time frame that makes sense for me, I have an income problem. So let's just type in 40,000. Okay, we're almost there. What about 45,000? Okay, not quite. Let's try 55K. Not even. So 60K. There we go. There's the magic number. I would need to contribute $60,000 each year at an average return of 7% to hit 5. That's kind of wild. I will reach financial independence by the time I'm 40 if I contribute $60,000 annually to investments that return on average at a 7% rate. It's a little bit insane to think that I need to almost double my income to be able to achieve this, but I think that it's really possible. Hey y'all, real quick, this is editing Trey. So in the video that you're watching, I had kind of decided that, fuck it. Like, even though it's $1.5 million and it's gonna take me a while to build that, like through side hustles and I don't know, through maxing out everything, maybe I'll be able to get it done a little quicker and I'll move up in my job, whatever. There's a flaw in that plan, and that is just that investing takes time. The most powerful tool in investing is the time. And ironically, the compounded interest is what helps you take time back, but you still have to have a large enough balance to where it just really picks up. Unfortunately, no matter what, it's going to take about 15 to 25 years for it to do the work that I need to do to feel comfortable in retiring early based off a investing balance alone. I don't think FIRE is the answer anymore. I do still want to, quote unquote, retire early and pursue financial independence for sure, but I am coming to terms with the fact that I'm not going to achieve that goal and truly feel 100% confident that I can never work again a day in my life until I'm probably like 50, probably. And that's if I continue investing hardcore, like I plan to now. So it's not a bad idea. It's always good to know that my 50-year-old self and above will be good no matter what. Like, that is amazing that I am able and have the privilege to set myself up like that in life. And with geo arbitrage, if I lived in like a third world country, I'd probably be fine in a couple of years. So, there's lots of options out there. But the point of this video was just to show you guys realistically what it's like to calculate your costs in retirement and see actually what it would be like on an average salary to be able to achieve FIRE in a reasonable time frame. And let's be honest, 15 years is already a lot if you're doing side hustles, working 9 to 9, and just sacrificing all along the way. So I don't think FIRE is the answer anymore. I'm not gonna go as aggressive as I think I planned to when I originally filmed this video. But of course, as always, I'll keep you guys posted on what I'm thinking as I continue this financial and just this life journey. And it's good to know that I can keep investing while I'm making this salary and that I can invest even more as I do gain more income. But because I'm not making double my income, this goal just doesn't make sense right now. I think that 15 years to achieve this goal is already probably like 10 years too many. My takeaway from this is that I'm not going to put all my eggs in the basket of fire. I will continue to invest. I will continue to aggressively invest so that I can use that as an income stream. But I think another answer is going to be just creating other income streams for now, either through side hustles, through fingies crossed, YouTube, hit that like button. Just trying to create more passive income streams to where, again, I don't need a 9-to-5 to live anymore. That is the ultimate dream. I still want to be doing work, and if I'm getting paid for it, great. I do still think that eventually severing the tie of work from money is probably the healthiest mindset that you can have towards work. But I do also recognize that I have a lot of the advantages of FIRE right now. I get to work from home, build my own schedule, still have time to do these kind of videos and hang out with friends and stuff. So I'm not gonna put all of my eggs into the FIRE basket anymore and work myself to the bone just to potentially get to this goal to when I'm 50. And I can start more aggressively pursuing FIRE and looking at all the numbers when I am making close to double my income right now. When I start making 120 grand a year, then I can really start putting numbers to this thing and aggressively going for it so that I can exit the workforce. But until then, I'm just gonna keep focusing on doing good work, moving up in my career, and creating fun content. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about my budget or where I come up with these numbers, again, feel free to reach out, drop a little message, whatever you want to do. I'm happy to interact, and I will see you next video. Bye.